welcome to. This is the third time I tried this, and I laughed, and I thought I had it, and then I lost it. Breathe. I'm gonna start coughing in a minute. I'm gonna stop. Breathe. Welcome to Impact Wrestling. You see the title. I don't need to tell you what it is. You already see it. I already wrote it on my. When about to make the video, I have an idea what I want for the title. I usually write it so I'll know what it is this time. I don't need to say it, but. And you think the way I'm laughing is that this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. No. Because there's something I got to mention. Because I am leaving a connection below to, I'm sure I'm going to leave a connection to Fightful.com. And their piece on Impact Wrestling. And if anyone, now I'm not laughing anymore because now I'm serious. Anyone says that you don't understand, with respect, because I kind of quivered because I don't want to sound really bad. I'm going to, because I don't want to sound like I'm a bastard or a dick or anything. Shut up. You can't. You can't justify this. From last week, they got 79,000 people watching their show. The week before that, 118,000. Now, I want to make this clear. I'm not discounting Impact Plus. I'm not discounting anything from it. I'm not discounting anything that Anthem gives them. And I'm not discounting the YouTube work with the insider bit they have. When you join their channel in Impact Wrestling, you pay $1, you get a lot of content. This is not, I repeat this again, this is not about fucking money. This is about perception. Listen to my words. Perception. Listen to me. Because I'm going to bring this back up at the end of the show. The reason I was laughing my ass off, because it wasn't funny, totally haha. It was totally, what the fuck are they doing? I'll say it again. What the fuck is Impact Wrestling doing with the ending of the show? Let's go for the rest of this, because I want to get to this quickly, because I spent almost 3 minutes laughing and trying to be serious and laughing my ass off again. First thing, we got Steve. You know, I don't know where they're going to go with this. Macklin versus Dorado Kid. I did not expect Macklin to lose here. It made no sense for him to lose. It was a good match. Always like Dorado Kid. When he was working with Angel Garza, I can't remember his original name, but when it was Angel Garza working with Dorado Kid and his original name, he was really good with him. I enjoyed them together. And I wish if he leaves the company, I hope he works with Dorado Kid again, because they really were great together. I was not surprised. We got a little segment from Trey saying, hey, Steve, no problem. You think just because I didn't pin you, you got to bitch and moan to get what you want? Fine, you just got what you want. You proved that you got something. But I'm going to make it my point to pin your ass at Turning Point. Now the question is, how are they going to deal with that? Because honestly, I don't see them taking the title off Trey. But at this point with Macklin, they got to do something. They can't just keep letting someone else get the pin and he don't get pinned. They got to go somewhere with him. I'm hoping they will expand on it. Now, originally, I was going to call this review the setup, because they're really trying to make the Turning Point mean something. And I'm not taking nothing from it. I want to make this clear when I talk about the end of the show and my thoughts about what I said earlier. I'm not taking nothing from the show. This was actually a good show. But still, I'm just saying. Now, we had, we got Sammy in BTI getting destroyed by a Brian Myers. He gave him a concerto reverse, because instead of putting the concerto in the face of a Sam, he put it on top of him and then whacked him. That's not a concerto. If anyone thinks it's a concerto, it's not a concerto. That is a backwards ass concerto, which I don't know why he went there. Either he should have done it the regular way or not do it at all. Just destroy Sam. But now Rick Swann wants a piece of Brian Myers because he's saying simply, hey, this is your student. You're supposed to be the best professional wrestler ever, and you're supposed to be a teacher. You did this? This is not what a teacher does. I want a piece of you and teach you what the shit is. Now, what do I feel about this? It's good to see they're still doing something with Brian Myers. It's good to see they're still doing something with Sam. But the question is, how far they're going to really do something with Sam. They can't just leave Sam as he is. They're going to have to progress him eventually. Hopefully, after Turning Point, and let's be honest, we only got a couple of weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks worth of new shows before pretty much December ends, and then they show reruns or recaps, not reruns. So we got maybe 3 weeks or maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I still think 3 weeks of shows to still work with. I'm just saying. Now, the Sioux Girls, which is the Undead Brides, versus the Inspiration. Now, I said this, and I'm going to make this clear. If Rangers of Wrestling watches this, how you doing, ma'am? Thank you for seeing my amateur hour channel. I hope you enjoyed the videos there. And I know how much she loves the Inspiration. And I have been honest. I said it, and I still stand by it. I really don't think they were thoroughly thinking about their gimmick. But I'm making this clear. This is still early days. Remember what I said last week, that they're going to do multiple tapings within a few days to a week. It takes time for people to adjust what they've made. I wish they had made a better impression by not doing the iconic bit so quickly off the bat. And they should start doing something new and then incorporate the older stuff into it to make themselves so unique. I'm not against Cassie and Jesse. I'm not. If anyone thinks I am, screw you. I'm not. I would like to see them succeed. I would like to see Jessie particularly work more on her style and really show that she does have variance. But this is early days. This is the first set of tapings. They probably did 4 or 5 tapings back to back to back within a week. So we're not going to see any change. But I will see what bits that have been improved on them, and it is in this match. Now, I will say the tag team work, when they were doing it singly in the ring, they looked like the Iconics. Let's be honest. They look exactly as they did on WWE TV. But when they did a little bit of double action, double teaming to take out a Kimberly or take out a Brandy, they looked okay. Now, that's a good thing. They at least have managed to improve or maintain what type of double teaming they did in WWE or better yet NXT here. At least they looked okay. Now, they won the match. I wasn't surprised. There was no way they're going to lose it. Even though it's non-title, I didn't expect them to lose it. But once DK in full force came out, Black Taru, Steve, Havoc, and the Rosemary came out, circled them, and scared the living bejesus out of them, you wonder, how were they going to react? And when they did do close-ups on them, and unfortunately, here was the problem with this entire segment. It was too dark and too damn blue. Look, I like DK's intro. But in this situation, it would have been better to bring up the lights enough so people at home will see it. That would have been better. And also the people at the arena, do you actually think they could easily see inside the ring and see how scared Jesse and Cassie were? They probably couldn't even see them very well. So I think they really need to really do something about their lighting with that situation. It's kind of like with Bray Wyatt. The Wyndham Rotunda, when he came out, it was super bright red, which seared your eyes, seared your corneas. And people were complaining we hated it. I'm hoping that someone in Impact Wrestling in next January, because they probably almost doing most of the tapings now for this November. They do Turning Point live, and then if they haven't already taped already for December, they will start after Turning Point and have everything done going into the recaps. Counting if they actually do recaps, I do believe they will. They need to change that up. They need to do something different for Decay's lighting. Let's move on. We got... Let me put you like this. When it came to Eddie and Moose and their fight, Eddie spoke, got his butt kicked. Then Moose got his butt kicked. He almost got destroyed by Eddie when Eddie decided to not only throw a couple of chairs at him, but he was about to get a ladder. I believe I got a shot of that. It's in my face. He really was ready to jump from that ladder. Didn't. Walked away, Moose. And it kind of felt like a waste, but then it wasn't at the same time. We needed to make Eddie mean something. Let me put it in my face again. Let me put you in this perspective. Moose was safe. As I said in my previous video, they're playing it safe with Eddie Edwards because Moose has worked with him for so much and so long. Perfect. So there wasn't that much excitement. What they did here drummed up a bit of excitement because they showed Moose getting butt kicked. They showed Eddie getting butt kicked. They showed Eddie about to do whatever it took to become champion, including going from a 15-foot ladder to jump on top of Moose. Of course, Moose wasn't going to get flattened, but still, it looked good enough that easily anybody can say, I like that segment. Or some will say, I love the segment. I'm just saying. Now, we had 2 video packs from Mercedes Martinez, Miss M&M, with a Mickie James. Mickie was alright, but the question was going to be how Mercedes was going to do her video package, how she was going to talk. And it was good. She made it very clear, baby, I'm coming after you. I loved you. I respect you, but you got something I want. So respect goes out the damn window now. I want what I want, and I'm going to destroy and claim this division for myself. Understand what the deal is, baby. That's the way she spoke. And it goes with her character. Mercedes Martinez, from what I've seen from NXT, what I saw from the Mae Young Classic, and what I see here, does not play around. She's direct, and she goes forward what exactly she feels like. In fact, the way she acts, she and Hernandez could actually work together. Honestly. I can see Hernandez working with a Mercedes Martinez in a new faction of the Latin American Exchange. He could manage her as well as a Tasha Steelz if she's still there. That would make sense. The Latin American Exchange, in a woman's sense, you could also have Sienna Evans there, but it will be about the Bolika Badass and the OG. And you have a little bit of Hernandez as the manager. There's nothing wrong with that. I actually think that might be a good idea. Ask me if you want me to do a Booking the Wrestler on that, because I didn't get a chance to film the Booking the Wrestler AEW edition. I'm going to try and do it today because I couldn't do it yesterday. I had a problem with the camera. And also I forgot what I wanted to say. And I was like, and I wanted to say it so bad and I screwed up. So I had to wipe that up. But I didn't need to wipe it up because the camera didn't take it very well. Anyway, let's move on. We got Hikaru. Here's the problem for me. Now, seeing Hikaru facing a Doc Gallows is not the problem. It was a good match. 2 big guys who can move around pretty damn well and really mean something. But here's the problem. You got 3 teams that come from New Japan Pro Wrestling. The Good Brothers, the Finjuice, and the Bullet Club really need a little bit of backstory from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Guys, as I've always said, sometimes a 20 or 30 second video package of the past really can help. Sometimes you need it. I really wish they would show more video packages from New Japan Pro Wrestling when they did their shows. And they showed how, and I'm sure Hikaru was there. I know that Doc and the wonderful Machine Gun, they got to have some footage of them. A little bit of footage that they can give the allowance for Impact to see it from their regular shows, not their pay-per-views. They got to have something because we need more context to this feud between the Bullet Club, the Good Brothers, the Finjuice, how they interacted with each other before, because there's not enough backstory, no matter if it's a real pay-per-view or an Impact Plus show. And it hurts that you can't see it. I'm just saying. Doc won. Not surprised. He's not going to job here, particularly that they're going to be having the match over on Impact Plus Turning Point. There you go. Now, Finjuice did have a video segment later, and they're frustrated because they lost focus, and Scott said, hey, don't worry, you'll get your business straightened out. I'm going to give you opportunity to try and get yourself straightened out with a match. I can't remember who they're going to go up against, but they're going to be going up against somebody, I believe, before the turning point, like it's the kickoff show. So I don't know. You guys tell me below if you think they're going to win or not. I don't know. It's going to depend how they book them. I wish they would show more of them acting more Japanese. This is the kicker. They're acting too American. They've been living in Japan for years, working back and forth from America and Japan. Why not show them acting a little Japanese? Come on. Now, let's move on. Violence by Design had a nice video package, making it very clear, and you see the picture of my face of the Eric Young's back in red. You could barely see the tattoo, but it looked menacing what bits you saw. It was actually quite nice. He makes it very clear that we are going to destroy you, a rhino. We are going to make you understand the purity of what you had, and you'll get it back again, but not the way you want, because you and your partner Rhino are going to be destroyed by us, and we're going to lay you down, and we're going to make sure you are destroyed by us and understand the bliss of Violence by Design. Not those exact words, but that's what it came down to. Now, will this end after this? I'm hoping this ends Violence by Design working with Rhino and Heath. It needs to end. Now, I know some people say we should drag it on another month or two, but honestly, it should end by the end into next year, because they need to do something with Violence by Design. What is Eli doing? When he first came in, he was so hot because he was using sanity as the basis for Violence by Design. But it looks like he fell off of graces when it comes to the writing team. What is he doing now with Violence by Design? Nothing. They need a new angle for Violence by Design. Not to change the formula, but to give them something different to do. They need something. I'm just saying. Now, you got the 6-man tag of Falaba, of Hernandez and the Johnny Swinger versus the Black Taru. I believe I got a shot at Demon in my face. Next to Steve, Demon, why is he not working with Impact Wrestling? If Demon's not working, why don't they hire him? Please, someone hire Demon to work with Decay. He fits in very well. The match itself was fine. And in the end, you can see, you know what? I'm going to leave that shot for the end of this review. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to say anything more than this. That's it. Violence by Design. Decay won. Johnny Swinger lost. Let's move on. Now, the end of the show, which I have to say was the best match. I kind of wish was saved for Impact Plus. Josh Alexander versus Miru Suzuki. I believe I'm pronouncing correctly. Minoru Suzuki. I'm bad with names, guys. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm terrible. This match was really good. The fans were really invested. They love Minoru. They love Minoru. They really were into the match. At one point, they were doing the smacks to the chest. And he refused to sell. Minoru would not sell. but then at certain points neither did Josh. Not everyone is going to be interested in that type of strong style match. They will not. But this was a very high technical, no high flying, high impact, and technical match, which told a good story of a veteran of who knows how many years of Suzuki dealing with Josh Alexander, who's been working many years, but not as many as Suzuki. And he lost. And you get Josh's wife, I think I'll throw her in my face, and there she is. Beautiful woman, but where does Josh go from here? I don't see Josh being inserted in this situation for a while. Look, I love Josh. I do. And I know one of my subscribers, and I think it was Gettysburg, said, hey, he's going to turn heel. Now, I don't see him turning heel. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to turn heel. Unless he really believes Scott is betraying him. Unless Scott's fucking him over. He's not turning heel. He's not. It makes no sense to turn him heel. He feels like he's being screwed over by Moose. If he turns heel, what is the point of his redemption story of getting screwed over by Moose, using the Call Your Shot cup, and then trying to get the title back? It doesn't make no damn sense. Now, with Gettysburg, he has his right to say what it is, and if it wasn't about Moose, it would make sense, but it doesn't. Now, if he does turn heel, I do not understand why. It makes no sense. Gettysburg will be right, and I'll have no problem eating crow and saying, man, you're right. You called it, you were right. But I just don't see it making any sense, even if he is right. I'm just being honest here. Now, we have gone through generally everything. Now it's time for me to explain why I was laughing my ass off. I'm starting to... No. I can't stand it. It's making me laugh. I can't stand it. At the end of the show, because you already know what happened after the six-man tag, when Johnny Bravo, the man, was visited by his, I believe, ex-wife now in a... Why was Havoc there? Is she just her lapdog now? Havoc dealing with Rosemary is just following her around? But pretty much he said, oh, you want something for a swing? He said, look, the guy helped me when I was down. I want to help him. I want to make him feel better. Like what happened in Wrestle House. I wanted to feel better. And she said, okay, we can do that for you. But there's something we want. And I wrote it I wrote it down. So I could remember the thought in my head at the time when she said, we want your version whatever. Because the thought went in my head, the version blood or his version dick. Oh, he has never done the pounding. But here's the part that made me laugh so hard. I just go, why? After what I read in Fightful and what I said in the beginning of this video. You bring DK. You bring Falaba. You bring the I believe, who was there? They're all in my face right now. You got Johnny Swinger. You got Johnny Bravo. You got DK. You got the Undead Brides. I believe you got all of, oh, I can't remember who else was there. There was somebody else there. I can't remember. I know that, I think, Madison, I know Caleb was there. I know Hernandez was there. All of them were there. And they ended up now, and he's in my face, and that's going to be the thumbnail here. Wrestle House 2 has now been set up. What the fuck is wrong with them? If you heard what I said in the beginning of this review, Fightful.com, the connection will be below, literally said that it was last week they had 79,000 people watch their show. 79,000 people watched their show on the 12th of November. The week before it was 118,000. 118,000 people. I believe that's what the connection said in the article. 118,000. Now, I want to make this clear. As I said in the beginning of this, I am not discounting Impact Plus and them making money. I am not discounting YouTube, where you basically join them and be an insider, or I forgot what they called it, whatever they called it, but it's an insider, I believe. And I'm not taking anything away from Fightful paying them, and maybe a little bit of access gives money to not Fightful, but Anthem, and they get extra money from Anthem from Access TV. But let's make this freaking clear. And if anyone says this was awesome, you don't understand. Wrong. I am not talking about money. It does play a factor. Plays a factor. And I believe one of my subscribers believe that in the United States it's 20 million for Access TV and international is 180 million. Guess what? I checked out Access TV. You know how many people they reach? 50 million. 50. They reach 50 million houses in the United States, not counting every state. But they reach 50 million people out of nearly 400 million in this country. International, let's say instead of 180 million, let's say it's 200 million. 200 million people worldwide and 50 million in this country. And they can't get 79,000. That's it. Last week, they got 79,000 people watching, viewership. This is not about the money, because they're probably fine with the money they have. They may be in the black. Remember, there's differences. Red is dead like ROH. Black is somewhere where there's an okay balance. Green is where you want to be, like WWE. You want to be in the green. You don't have to have WWE money to be in the green. You don't. You just got to be above the black where you're just okay. And they're probably okay. But this is about freaking perception. JD does not think Impact is anything but shit. Just Alex thinks nothing of Impact Wrestling. Other people like in Fightful.com who does podcasts, they may talk about it, but it doesn't really mean much compared to AEW or WWE. Understand, perception is everything, and many people who do podcasts like myself, who actually have some level of influence, unlike me, I have none. Remember, JD has maybe 16 to 20,000 people at some points. With Jesse sometimes when it comes to AEW, or even more when it comes to WWE doing SmackDown or Raw reviews. The Solid Monster gets at least near 10,000 people. Just Alex gets nearly 2,000 to 3,000. The Sleg Daddy can get between 1,500 to 3,000 people. These people have way more pull than me. And they're not going to see much of Impact Wrestling. They may do a reference of it, but when was the last time you heard them actually do a freaking review of a show? I am one of the few people who will actually review the show. Yes, the Ranger of Wrestling, she does her review. And I believe the guy who does Fightful.com, he also does a review. And there's a couple other people who does review. But that's maybe 5, 6. You have more than 24 people who has maybe 20,000 wrestle votes, 50,000, 100,000 people that don't review Impact barely at all or not. So what does that tell you? Perception is everything. It's not about the buy sales and Impact Plus. It's not about how much Anthem pays Impact or how much money they get on YouTube. They can get a ton of money on YouTube. They can get a ton of money from Anthem. Maybe they may even get a little money from Access separately. Who knows? Even with their own merch they're selling on their own, does not change the fact of perception. Perception is everything. And I believe it was Gettysburg. And I gotta do this to you, dude. I do love you. I said this in the video. I respect you. You're quirky. You got some good insights. And sometimes you are right. But you said there are a lot of people who don't watch Impact. Anthem is a big show. And I said that's not the point. It doesn't make a difference that there's 50 million people on Anthem. Well, not Anthem, but on Access TV that not all of them see. You need enough to make the show mean something. Mean something. Let's be honest here. You need to have better perception. If you can't even break 100,000 and you lose 25,000 people and you go down to 79,000, and at one point, understand, there was WWE, ROH and Impact were here, then Impact went here and ROH went here. What the hell happened to their viewership? Access TV may have 50 million people on it, but no one is watching. The week before was 118,000, not 200, not 300, not 500, not 800,000. 118,000. That was it. All that they went through with AEW, what did they gain? And I've heard people say like JD, and I'm on a rant now. I heard JD said, what did AEW gain from them working with Impact Wrestling? They didn't gain anything. Impact gained everything. Really? Really? They gained freaking nothing. Nothing they gained. Because if they had gained viewership, even though Impact Plus probably has an increase, Anthem is happy they got an increase. Maybe they might give them extra money to make the black go up a little more. Maybe the merchandise has moved a little bit better. But the viewership on Access TV has not moved. It should be 300,000-400,000. No one's saying they'll ever reach near an AEW or WWE. No one's saying that. I'm not saying that. I want to make it clear. I'm not saying they should have 2 to 3 million people watching this show. I know they're a smaller promotion now. They scaled back since they lost their network. Look, they lost Spike. They've never been the same. Spike, they had maybe 1.3, 1.5 million at one point. 1.1, 1.3, 1.5. But you expect them to at least get, what, 300,000-400,000 maybe? And what was the week before? I forgot what it was. Was it the 5th or the 6th or the 7th? I can't remember. And they got only 118,000. And they went back 25,000 people to 79,000. I have no idea what the viewership is going to be for this video. For their show and this video. I don't know. I may do an update video on if I find out what the viewership is for Impact Wrestling. And I'm not telling you. I want to make this clear. And I know people are going to say, you're saying Impact is going under now. You're saying, no. I said this is about perception. Not about if they're going broke like ROH. People are saying, well, let ROH be taken out and bought by Impact Wrestling. Well, think about this for a minute. If ROH wasn't doing that well before the pandemic, when they went under, they went freaking under. Not because they didn't want to fire anybody, but because they weren't doing that great on Infinity. They weren't. If they were, even though they kept everybody, they wouldn't have had to basically close their doors and revamp the show. They were probably not making that much money. And then when they kept everyone, they went from whatever black line they was here. So don't tell me that ROH was doing great when they worked. And understand, you buy out ROH. You're going to have all the damn baggage that comes with ROH. And I'm making this clear to everyone who's listening to this. Whoever buys ROH, if it is bought out, if it is turned into a developmental, or it is absorbed into another company and they combine it along with several of their wrestlers and the production people, you're taking the baggage of ROH into a company you already have. If Impact takes the baggage of ROH, you're going to have the same problems ROH had. And some places could compensate for it. Maybe Impact could. But would the viewership go up? Remember, whatever you say right now, listen and keep your mouth shut. Shut up. Because Anthem goes by viewership as much as Access TV. Yes, if they see a very increase in Impact Plus, they'll be happy, But they're still on a freaking network called Access TV that has 50 million people. And if that number doesn't start going up beyond 100 million, well, not 100 million, 100,000 more often, if it keeps going to 75,000, 50,000, how long do you think it'll be before Access TV cans them? Think about it. I'm not telling you that it's going to be canned. It is perception. Remember, perception is everything. They go by perception of viewership. And there's no way that I'm saying that Impact is going to be canned from Access or dropped from Anthem. But if they don't show by their viewership that people care, why would other podcasters even give a damn? I'm one of the few who does. We still love the show. People like me still love the show. And we're not saying that it's 100% crap. I still complain about the booking. The booking is still very chaotic and does not look like it's getting better yet. We're still in a new era without AEW, and we have no idea how this is going to work. Because we've been down this road before. If anyone actually thinks we've never been down this road before, we work with AAA. We have worked with New Japan Pro Wrestling before. We have worked with Crash TV. We have worked with Dragon Gate. We work with BMW. I think it's BNWN. We work with AAA. How many times did that went down bad, where the viewerships never went up, and the huge interest never seemed to do anything? How much have we gone through in Impact Wrestling over the years with different people running it? Now, I'm not taking anything from Don or Scott and anyone else who's running the company now. They really have turned it around to a certain extent. But still, it's still the same in certain ways, and the viewership reflects it. Something needs to change. Something has to happen. Getting ROH does not mean it'll get better. Think about it for a minute. Think. A lot of people are waiting for the new for the new ROH people to come in, and things are going to be incredible. Really. As I said before to one of the subscribers, you know who you are? You know who you are, man. I love you. You ask the same question as me. You bring the people in, but can they write for them, or are they just going to float like they do with most of the people? Look during the show. Instead of doing another video package or another segment, they showed the match of the week between Reno Scum, Heath Slater, and who was with him? I can't remember. It was Heath Slater. It was not Rhino. It was somebody else. I can't remember who he was with. But Rhino was there, and Reno Scum was there. Was it Rhino? I don't know. I don't remember. But pretty much, why are you showing Reno Scum? Yeah, Rhino and Heath. Why are you showing them? Particularly, you didn't even show them doing a video pack. You showed Violence by Design. Not Rhino. Not Heath. Why would you show it on the regular show on TV? Why? Why show it? That was a waste of at least 2 or 3 minutes that could have been dedicated to other wrestlers, to giving us video packages, to hype even more of Turning Point. No, you did the match of the week. Who is running it? Why? Seeing that they're doing Wrestle House again makes me angry that they're going to that again. But also, they probably noticed that Wrestle House the first time around did bring up viewership. So I'm not taking 100% away from it. But seeing that last week they only had 79,000 people in a damn viewership is bad. But it's just me. Tell me how you feel below. Have a good day. Have a good night. And watch for Rampage. Peace.